Arsenal 1.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dan. Safe journey home. And you heard the man there, 1-0 to the Arsenal at Turf Moor. It wasn't the greatest game, if we're completely honest, but all that matters is the 3 points at the end of it. Adrian, Clarke still with me here at the Emirates Stadium in the studio. Got the points on the board, up to 12th.
Job done. Look, quality wasn't really there, was it, in this game? It was quite tough to watch at times, but look, another clean sheet. And we didn't have a single clean sheet in pre-season. The first 3 matches looked very, very vulnerable. So I think it's a real bonus that the last 2 games against Norwich and Burnley, we've managed to shut them out. And a piece of magic has won us the game. So, yeah, look, really, really pleased. 6 points from the last 2 games without ever really being anywhere close to our best. I think we'll take that.
Well, it sets us up nicely as well for next week. Yeah. Spurs, which is obviously going to be tough here at the Emirates Stadium, but you know, like two wins back to back.
Not as tough as Burnley, is it?
Well, exactly. Burnley away, much tougher. We all know that. But you know, hopefully, we did say before the Norwich game. I remember in the pre-match we were kind of like, the season starts here in a way, and so far so good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. We got our noses in front. We definitely controlled the first half. It was, as we said at half-time, it was the type of match that Arsenal wanted it to be. We warned that the second half would be harder, and it was. Arsenal struggled, I think, in the second half as an attacking force. We only really had the odd counter, and on those counters, our decision-making was quite poor. But to our credit, we were pretty resilient when absorbing that pressure, and ultimately it was fine. Obviously, a bit of luck with the VAR going in our favour, but in general, I don't think Burnley could have too many grumbles. We were just about the better side in a very scrappy, low-quality match. This wasn't a great advert for the Premier League. It wasn't a great advert for Arsenal, really. But at this point, we just need to get points, and I think confidence will flow off the back of it.
Yeah. The points are the most important thing at the end of the day. The old cliche, at the end of the season, nobody's going to remember, you know, the scabby 1-0 win at Turf Moor, are they? Let's have a look at the first thing then that we learnt from today's performance then against Burnley. It's this: Arsenal handled Burnley's pressure football well in the second half. And we can see the action areas here actually.
Yeah, this wasn't the whole. It wasn't the whole second half. This was the period, the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half. Look at how many. The high percentage of touches Burnley had inside our defensive third. They got the ball forward and they got it to the front guys, who then built from there. They went wide and they created a lot of issues, really. You know, a lot of pressure football, a lot of set pieces, a lot of crosses coming into the box. But we handled it, and I think that was a big plus today. I think Gabriel was probably the pick of our defenders, but all of them stood up to a pretty awkward test.
Yeah. Right, we can see some tweets that have been coming in from you out there. We've got one here. Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, Gabriel, Arsenal may just have their best defence in 16 years. We kind of touched on it pre-match, didn't we? Talking out my Arsenal here, careful, says Gabriel is holding this defence together. What did you make of Gabriel today?
Yeah, I thought he was good. Yeah, I was impressed with him against Norwich. I thought that he was really brave, made some good blocks. And it was the same today, really. He actually looked the senior figure in that back four. I mean, he wasn't overworked. He did make the most clearances. So when the balls did come into the box, he was often the one that got on the end of them. I think he made 7 clearances. It was White who made the interceptions, and I think that's the way it's going to be. Gabriel is the man to probably get his head on things and to block things, maybe do the more eye-catching defending. White is the guy to bring the ball out of defence and to maybe break up play by reading it and nipping in to intercept. So it's a good combination. But yeah, Gabriel was the star man, I think, out of the back four today. So yeah, very, very promising start to the season. You've got to remember he was out for a while, hadn't played any football for ages, obviously post-Olympics. There was quite a bit of a break there. But so he missed the whole of pre-season with us. And it doesn't look like that, does it? It looks in good nick.
And I know people will point to the fact that we conceded heavy against Manchester City.
Yeah.
Brentford scored 2, Chelsea scored 2, but 2 clean sheets now.
Yeah.
At the end, you even noted that Aaron Ramsdale looked quite kind of celebratory about
Very
that.
celebratory. Clean sheet bonus. Yeah. It looks good for him as well, doesn't it? 3 games now in all competitions, 3 clean sheets. So you know, in terms of how strikers are only really happy if they score goals, keepers are the same, but with clean sheets. So yeah, that would have meant a lot to Aaron Ramsdale, but also a lot to the team as a whole. Burnley have a rotten home record in the last year or so, but they are an awkward team to play, and they made it ugly in that second half. It was tough watch. It was not fun, was it? But we got there in the end, just.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look then at the second thing that we've learned from today's game then, and it's technology handed Arsenal a valuable assist at Turf Moor. That's right, because Burnley were awarded a penalty. We've got one here that says definitely not a penalty. Love the correct use of VAR on our side. Heart eye emoji. Odumbe says, I like this Ramsdale fella. He's got a bit of oomph in him and seems to be a confidence player. Scott here says Ramsdale is much more comfortable coming out and dealing with pressure, bigger presence than Leno. Right, so I guess there's two things to address here. First, we'll deal with the VAR situation, which it was used correctly, wasn't a penalty, right?
It was a dive, wasn't it? It's a brilliant dive.
Yeah.
Like, real credit to Vieira, I think it was, wasn't it? Who went over. I mean, he dangled his leg and he waited for the contact, and it didn't come. But he still made it look like it came. And you've got to admire that in a way. Not really. No, you have to admire the skill of the attempt to get the penalty. But it was a bit of a disgrace. And Ramsdale stopped. And I think full credit to Ramsdale, because he's a young keeper. He's quite, he's emotional, isn't he? In that he gets wound up. We saw that at the end. He was buzzing. But in that moment, he stayed calm. And he put the brakes on. And he said, come on then. I'm not going to foul you. If you're looking for the pen here, you're going to have to stick a leg out and hit me. And I think Ramsdale deserves a lot of credit. And in general, I agree with the tweeters. I think that he's got a good presence. He comes out positively, doesn't need to catch the ball. He's got that aura. I think it's confidence. I think that's the key trait with him. And also his starting positions, I've noticed, are quite high, especially in terms of through balls. He's right outside his box, ready to be that sort of sweeper keeper when we need him to be. So, yeah, I think Aaron Ramsdale he couldn't have got off to a better start. 3 successive clean sheets for the Gooners.
And I don't want to get too carried away because it's such early days, as you point out. 3 games, 3 clean sheets, which is a great start for him. Do you think he is silencing a few of the critics, I guess? Because, when we signed him, there were a few people on social media that were very vocal about not wanting him.
Oh, yeah, because he's been relegated twice and played for a lot smaller clubs. But you could see in the second half of last season, he's a really good shot stopper and he grew into his skin as a Premier League player. Was he fortunate to get the move to Arsenal? In the eyes of many, yeah, he was lucky. Is he lucky to get the spot ahead of Bernd Leno? Maybe, because of the start to the season, things have fallen in his favour. But what you've got to say is that when you get the chance at a club like Arsenal, you've got to take the opportunity. You've got to hit the ground running. Flo Balogun on the opening day of the season got his start. It didn't really happen for him. It wasn't all his fault, but it didn't happen for him. And he has not been seen since. Ramsdale came into the team and looked the part, looked like he belonged, and made an impact. He made an impact at West Brom, and in the 2 Premier League games, he's not given us any moments where you really feel nervous. And I think he deserves great credit. And so in a long-winded way, yes, I would imagine he silenced the critics. I mean, if there are any Arsenal fans out there that want to have a pop at the club for signing Aaron Ramsdale now, come and get in touch, because why would you? I mean, why would you? He's off to a perfect start.
Clarke's in a fighting mood, that's for sure. Right, let's have a look at the third and final thing that we learned from today's performance then. Martin Odegaard repaid a slice of his transfer fee with a moment of set-piece magic. A lovely free kick, of course. We've got this here. Just saw that Odegaard free kick. That was absolutely filthy. He's about to kick on the season now. I mean, I absolutely love the use of filthy when it comes to free kicks and stuff like that. But it was a great finish from Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, it was filth. No doubt about it. Yeah. You can saw the picture there on the screen on the still. Just great technique with his left foot. He only just went over the wall, but it comfortably dipped under the bar, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was the perfect way to go the wrong side. So the keeper's saying, well, my wall's covering that side. If you're good enough to get it up and over the wall, fair play to you. And then the guy said, all right, I am good enough. And I thought the technique was fantastic. He's a 2-footed player, isn't he? I mean, probably better with his left, but but he's got quality. I thought in the first period he knitted things together very well, got into some great areas in behind the front man. Second half, we didn't see as much of him, obviously, but Arsenal was sort of pushed back. But yeah, in games like that, you need your flair players to deliver moments of magic. You need someone to make the difference, don't you? In a low quality match that's scrappy, can one of your big guys produce a moment? And that's what it's about. He produced the moment. And what I also like about Odegaard is his work rate. A few people spotted it, I think, last weekend. He'll go and press. He'll really scuff. But when he goes to press, he doesn't just amble up. He really sprints. And I love that because it makes other people behind him go, oh, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. And then that chain reaction happens. So, yeah, Martin Odegaard, I expect a lot more big moments from him, but that's a good start to this season.
Yeah, and all in all, not a vintage Arsenal performance, but as we said earlier,
it was ugly, wasn't it? Yeah. I think going forward second half, we made some really bad decisions. We messed up a few counter attacks. Obviously, Ben White made that mistake for the penalty shout, which wasn't a penalty. So there are things to work on. Obviously, in midfield, we saw Partey in there with Smith Rowe and Odegaard, and only Odegaard finished the game. So, there in terms of can we get a settled midfield unit, or is it going to be a mix and match for different players, different games? There are different things to consider. We could definitely play miles better in terms of our combination play. We didn't really get Aubameyang into the game today. He was great last week, but very quiet today. So by no means perfect, but we've won the game. We're up into mid-table. We can look forward to that Spurs game with relish, and I think we'll need to play better to beat them, but I think we will play better.
Yeah. I know one thing's for certain, it's going to be a lot more intense, that is for sure, Clarke.
Yes.
Right, thank you for your company today, and of course, thank you for watching. But between that Spurs game and now, we do have another game. We're back in Carabao Cup action on Wednesday evening. We take on AFC Wimbledon here at the Emirates Stadium. It's a 7:45 kickoff, so tune in at around 7:15 on Arsenal.com, and we'll see you then. Take care.
Get closer to the club you love with My Arsenal Rewards. My Arsenal Rewards
is our new program for Arsenal members.